Um, this is Robin Hammond, and can you tell us a little bit about your practice as a nurse?
I am a nephrology nurse, which for me is pediatrics. It's outpatient setting, so oftentimes you think of nephrology as dialysis, but I do kind of the outpatient for kids who have kidney issues, including hypertension, kidney anomalies, problems, from very minor, we see them a couple of times, to chronic kidney disease and end-stage renal disease for children 0 to 19. In general, like every day in practice, I'll come across a medicine that we haven't used recently, or a diagnosis that maybe I've seen but we don't get a lot of them, so I'll use our resources. It could be just looking up at the National Kidney Foundation or the resources that we have in the office to get information about the diagnosis, what the treatment is, what the workup is. Make sure that I kind of know that so that I can help guide the families through the process. I think having a nurse that's separate from the person who's diagnosing it, know the background, is very helpful, because we really are the ones that guide the families through the process of new diagnosis and what to expect. One of the things that I am trying to do is improve systems in the clinic. So 2 things that we're working on right now are improving nursing protocols and getting the doctors on board for that. So one of the things that nursing protocols can do is really set up what questions do we ask in the instance of, say, a nephrotic syndrome patient comes in. Very complicated. They can come in really sick, and families can be really overwhelmed. And so if a person calls up with nephrotic syndrome, it might be the first time they've called after being diagnosed, and they're sick and they're having protein spill out their urine and they're pretty worried. It's really easy to get lost in that conversation. And so I've wanted to create a protocol where the nurses know what questions to ask, know what questions to target in, and then kind of can give the family anticipatory guidance of what to expect with the treatment. And the reason that's helpful is because it allows for the families to hear the similar information and the similar questions over and over again, and it gives them the sense that, like, what do I need to be looking for in this situation? And the docs really they didn't mind us asking the questions, but they were nervous about us giving the anticipatory guidance of this is what to expect, because every case can be slightly different. So in order to get them on board for that, I did a lot of research on the use of nursing protocols. It's amazing how much you use every day. And I probably didn't know, like, I kind of thought, well, when my education was done, then I would know what I needed to know. And what I really found in all the different areas of nursing that I'm doing, or that I have done, that everywhere you are, there's something new every day, and there's new knowledge. Even if, like, I know nurses who have been in one area for 30 years, and because the knowledge always changes, they're still learning and still needing to look things up. And it's when you really think you know stuff that you probably need to make sure that you're just not practicing the same thing because that's what you've always known. Information changes a lot in medicine and nursing, and so it will be part of your practice forever, as long as you're practicing. That's it.
Thank you, Robin. Hello, thank you for being here. Denise Stinson, and you are a nurse, and tell us about your practice.
Well, I work for the Tacoma-Pierce County Health Department. I'm a public health nurse, and I work in communicable disease control and epidemiology. And what we do in public health basically is to monitor trends in disease, at least in communicable disease control. We're monitoring trends in communicable disease, doing investigations, actually doing disease control for notifiable conditions for the purpose of actually controlling disease, and then we monitor trends in disease because if there are actions needed on a population level, in terms of educating doctors, educating the public, making sure people know about a problem, and people that can make a difference know about a problem. That's kind of our job. And so we're using research basically all the time on practical issues, and then also on projects that I work on in terms of population health. I do a lot of immunization projects, and so all the time I'm having to research best practices in immunizations, what the hot topics are, how to approach issues that I see as a problem in our community. How I want to find out how other people are dealing with the same kinds of issues, and see how other people are perhaps solving these issues. I don't want to reinvent the wheel if I don't have to. So we are all constantly really looking on research databases. I'm lucky because I have access to the University of Washington Library.
What kind do you find yourself using a lot?
I use PubMed a lot. I also use CINAHL and some of the social science databases. In nursing, you will find really nursing practice for all practical purposes. You're reaching into so many different disciplines. You know, nursing is becoming more of an academic pursuit. You know, it's an art and a science, and we have our own body of nursing literature. But we also borrow from so many other disciplines, so much of the other literature, that it's a very good idea for students to become well-rounded in being able to access all types of information. Also, you know, we're learning how to do new things all the time. In practice, you'll wonder, are you doing this just because this is the way we've always done this? Is there a real reason to be doing it this way? Or could we figure out a better way? Or has somebody else figured out a better way? So, you know, in your practice, you're constantly looking for better ways to do things, different ways to do things.
Denise, thank you.
Thank you.